I'm Gabriel.
I'm Jonah.
And we're both from a club called McMaster MOOD FM, which is like a music appreciation club.
We're both in Environment and Society, and this is what we picked up from Campus Discs.
Yep.
Yeah, I am a smart mouth. How do you think I wound up where I am, who I am by now? Just another minute till we sisters sign off. So if you're not with it, wave bye bye bye.
So on my end, I got Stereolab's Sound Dust, which is not my favorite Stereolab album, but it's his.
My favorite.
And I stole it.
Unfortunately.
So, yeah, I grabbed that today. It's a blast. I don't really know what to say about it.
I know what to say about it. Yeah. This album is sort of late into their career. Stereolab, by the way, is a great British and French indie pop band.
True.
This was sort of in the phase in their career where they were experimenting more. This has some lounge elements, some jazz elements.
True.
I think it's a really cool album, and definitely one that you should check out if you're into like 90s indie pop. I think this is early 2000s, but
Yeah, you should have bought this one, man.
it's a really cool record. Well, I was going to, but you took it.
Oh, man.
Well, no, you should have it. You should have it.
The next one I got is Paris 1919 by John Cale, which is a blast. I think, I don't want to say it's his debut. It's not his debut. I think it was like 3 after. He produced The Marble Index by Nico, a handful of other ones, and then Paris 1919 came out, which is a blast. I think some would call this a Baroque pop departure from the stuff he did with the Velvet Underground, and it's an absolute blast. It's got Paris 1919, which is one of my favorite tracks from the Velvet Underground universe on it, so I'm super excited to listen to this. And then the last one that I have is Song Cycle by Van Dyke Parks, which is an absolute gem of an album. He produced a lot of Beach Boys stuff. I was saying this up at the thing, but he was in Twin Peaks for like 3 seconds. Just a great guy, made some great music, and this one's probably my favorite thing of his. It's a really wacky, really diverse kind of movement through all kinds of different styles of sound, from like calypso to, I don't know, other Caribbean stuff to more classical kind of music. So yeah, I'm super excited to own these. So yeah, Jonah, you want to go with yours?
Yeah, right, these are my picks. It's this another Stereolab CD. This is an EP they put out a few years after Sound Dust. This one isn't quite as sort of out there and experimental. It's sort of more of a typical sort of pop sound, or at least what their typical sound is. But it has some great tracks on it.
True.
I think some of these would go on their album Margarine Eclipse.
Yeah.
Which is also a great record.
For sure.
This EP has a song called Jaunty Monty and the Bubbles of Silence, which I think is an amazing name.
True.
And it's also a great song.
Yeah.
So that's my CD. I'm more of a vinyl guy, so I got a lot of records here. This one is Todd Rundgren's Something Anything. It's a double album that he put out. It's probably his biggest album.
Was it Todd on Donda?
I think he was in the studio because he's friends with like the producer 88 Keys.
I thought they had a big fight or something like that.
Something like that. I don't think he likes Kanye, but this was before all that, of course. I think this is 1972.
True.
This has the song Hello, It's Me, which might be one of my favorite like classic rock songs of all time. And I think this album really showcases like Todd's ability to just write like these really like emotionally resonant, like really heartfelt ballads, and also it shows off his experimentation in the studio really well, because I think he's more known as a producer in a lot of cases, and he was sort of a studio wizard. So this is a fantastic album. Just put that there.
Nice.
Next, I have another classic, Close to the Edge by Yes. I am a prog guy.
Yep, absolutely.
This is the prog album.
Is it the prog album?
I mean, it's one of them. It's like probably top 5 most important prog albums.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you'll find it on a lot of big lists.
Sure. And it's the only Yes album cover that doesn't have like a giant. Actually, this looks more like a Yes album cover.
I'll get to that soon. It has the side-long 18-minute Close to the Edge song, which is amazing.
Yep.
It goes through so many different movements. So much technical prowess from the members of Yes. And then side B, it has And You and I and Siberian Katru, which are 2 other amazing songs. They're each about 10 minutes long. And yeah, it's just an essential prog album. If you want to get into prog, this is the album you should listen to.
Is this the last Yes album that you had to buy?
No, I have to buy Relayer, which is sort of like this, but jazzier and crazier.
Man.
This is the Led Zeppelin one.
When you picked it up, I was
Houses
convinced
of the
it was
Holy.
Genesis.
This is one of their sort of later albums. I think this is their 5th album after their classic Led Zeppelin 4 Untitled record. And this one, I mean, I think it could stand toe-to-toe with it. In some cases, there are just a lot of great songs on here. The track list isn't printed on the back, but there's like the Rain song,
Wow.
Over the Hills and Far Away, I believe. Yeah, it's just a great Led Zeppelin album, and I've sort of been on a Led Zeppelin.
Is it one of the
kick
greatest
recently.
Led Zeppelin albums?
It's not one of, I mean, they don't have a lot of albums, so, you know, I'm inclined to say maybe it is one.
They don't have a lot of albums?
They
I
have,
thought
like-
they had like 12.
They have 8, I think, and
8?
like 2 of them are kind of bad.
That's crazy.
But, you know-
Which are the bad ones?
I think Coda and also In Through the Outdoors isn't great.
That's amazing. Wow, good for Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, this one, Dazzle Ships by OMD. I'll be honest, I have not listened to it, but
What's
I've heard
OMD stand for?
Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark.
Wow.
They're sort of like a pretty successful new wave band, but this is sort of them going more experimental. The reason I picked this up is not only because I'm getting into new wave a lot more recently, but I heard this was directly inspired by a Kraftwerk album called
Sure.
Radioactivity. Kraftwerk is another one of my
the
favorite
yellow one
bands.
with the-
Yeah, it's the yellow one.
There you go.
Not the one with the computer on it, but I heard this was inspired by that album, which was like a really minimal, sort of almost avant-garde, like really sort of cold and mechanical sounding, and I heard this was inspired by that and has some new wave elements. So I thought this would be a great pick, and also the Campus Discs guy said it was really good.
Wow.
So
rare.
I mean, that's all the proof I need.
High praise. That's incredible.
And then the last one in my stack here is Countdown to Ecstasy by Steely Dan.
Yep.
Steely Dan.
That's the last Steely Dan album you needed.
Yeah, this is the last Steely Dan album I needed. My dad played me Steely Dan all throughout my childhood, and then a few years ago I just sort of rediscovered my love for them. This album is more one